Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for September 9th, 2024. This is a tropical update here. Of course, all eyes are on Tropical Storm Francine, forecast to become better organized and becoming Hurricane Francine, possibly by tomorrow morning here. So we could be looking at a landfall and category 2 hurricane affecting the Louisiana Gulf Coast or somewhere along that area there as it continues to make its progress here. We have two other areas of interest before we get into Francine. We have a couple areas east Atlantic out towards the Cape Verde Islands here. High chance of development, the second disturbance here in 7 days, 70% chance, 30% chance in the 48 hours as it works its way past us. A little bit of Saharan dust there. The second area is given a 60% chance of development. This is a high chance, better than 50% chance in 7 days of becoming our next named storm here. We just have to see as it gets closer to the Lesser Antilles here later on in the forecast period here and out through 7 days. So we'll see, but that could become our next named storm. But back to Francine. Francine, as of the 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time update, it is north-northwest at 7 miles an hour. Not very particularly fast here, but it's going to be feeling the effects of that trough later on. Minimum pressure is down to 996 millibars. Max sustained winds will come up to 65 miles an hour. So it's just about 10 or 9 miles shy of hurricane strength here. Category 1 hurricane strength here as it continues to make its progress here. You can see the loop here. You can see it's a pretty healthy tropical storm here. I mean, there is some dry air and training on the eastern side of it, but it does have a focused center circulation, heavy convective bands to the north wrapping around the center, and it does look very, very good here on the satellite presentation. It's getting better organized just to the south of Brownsville, Texas, and Mexico there, northern Mexico, and it's moving right now. It's kind of just drifting, meandering, and they expect that to continue and a turn to the northeast and just kind of skirt up along the coast there later on. So you can see here we have the Saharan dust analysis here. Saharan dust layers will convene to the Cape Verde Islands here, the northern and southern Cape Verde Islands, and just off the coast of Africa. You can see it's retreated here much so from the past. It was covering all of the ITC zone below the ITCZ zone, intertropical convergence zone. Now the Saharan dust is just pockets of dust here and dry air and stuff like that. So it's clearing the way for the busiest time of the hurricane season, which is September 10th through October 10th, as you know, the peak of it. And it's clearing the way for that. You can see the water vapor image here. You can see it's backed up against this big area of high pressure and dry air that's brought beautiful, exceptionally weather here from Atlanta, Birmingham, and Jackson through Raleigh, Columbia, South Carolina, up through the mid-Atlantic and into the northeast here. Just exceptional weather here, but this high pressure and control here. The jet stream's going to come in and pick up this system here, and it's going to merge into that frontal boundary, that trough boundary there. It's going to make its way toward the Louisiana coastline. Sometime a landfall right now is scheduled for Wednesday, sometime on Wednesday, late Wednesday. Those numbers can change here. We can see the track here. I'll give you the cone track here, forecast here with Francine. Looking to be a Category 2 hurricane by 1 p.m. Wednesday here, making just to the east of Lake Charles and Cameron, Louisiana, somewhere along that bank there. And that does put New Orleans on the right-hand side of this system, on the dirty side, as well as Baton Rouge up there on I-10, I-12, heading through the Mississippi Valley, the Tennessee Valley here, Mississippi Valley area here, Delta area. So anybody in Greenville, Greenwood, Jackson, Tupelo, Mississippi, up through Memphis, Tennessee. So watch out for the remnants of the rain as it makes its way inland. It could rain itself out and provide very heavy rain and even Arkansas as well. Little Rock south there, Conway, Dorado, Arkansas. And those areas could provide a lot of rainfall here. So tropical storm watches have been extended in yellow here all along the Texas coastline, even including Houston and Galveston, over towards Lake Charles. And hurricane warning is extended from Lake Charles, Louisiana, and the border between them and the Sabine River Pass all the way through the central Louisiana coastline. And then, of course, in the inlands here, Lake Pontchartrain and all that areas in tropical storm watches right now. So that's what we have going on right now with Francine. Now, as far as the intensity forecast for Francine, does remain to be a Category 2 hurricane wind somewhere around 100 miles an hour. So that in 48 hours, 48 to 62 hours. So that'll be its peak intensity right now. But that depends, if it's obviously warm water out here in the Gulf. If it gets in one of those pockets, Francine could possibly get up to a borderline Category 3 hurricane. It's not out of the question, the rapid intensification that everybody's been waiting for this season. It's possible it can happen in this area. However, there's still, some question marks with the dry air and the upper level dynamics have to be favorable for the system to really, take off. But in any case, a Category 2 hurricane, a Category 1 hurricane is still formidable, and it's something that you don't want to play with. You don't want to have any type of things. If you have to along the coast of Louisiana, you definitely want to evacuate voluntary, if you know, or if you want mandatory evacuations along some of these low-lying deltas and marshes here, because the rain is going to bring a lot of rain here, and that's some of the key messages I'm sure that the Hurricane Center has put out here. As you can see here, is that the rainfall potential of this system, a new product here, you can see the rainfall potential continues to show that Louisiana is in that bullseye for 4 to 6 inches, the majority of it, 4 to 6 inches here, and then up to Louisiana. New Orleans could get possibly 4 to 6 inches too as well. Some localized areas here could get up to, depending on this core gets on shore here, some localized areas of Louisiana can see up to a foot of rain here from this system here. It all depends on how fast the system moves once it becomes inland, and what the strength of it is, and how much rainfall it is wrapped around the center. Houston, you look to be a little bit out of the way here. You look to be in the clear almost, but you're not out of the clear yet by the Morris Bay. But you know, you still can get some rain in some of the southern and eastern suburbs of Houston toward the Galveston Bay. You still could pick up maybe an inch or 2 or 3 out there right now, as it stands right now from the tropical rainstorm product. Flash flood potential that's going to be bullseye once again in that lower delta there of Mississippi and Louisiana. That includes New Orleans. There's a moderate chance, 40% chance of flooding from Lake Charles back toward Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Thibodaux, up through, almost close to Jackson, Mississippi. And then yellow, at least 15% slight chances in Little Rock, Memphis, Shreveport, and all those areas up toward Cape Girardeau and the Boot Heel country of Missouri. So just keep that in mind as we watch the system progress here. Surge forecast as well showing that we do have some surge here. We're going to have 5 to 10 foot surge from Vermilion Bay back towards Cameron and Port Fourchon. We also have a 2 to 4 foot surge coming into Lake Pontchartrain and Lake Mauropas, and also the Mississippi-Alabama border all the way back toward the mouth of the Mississippi here, 2 to 4 foot surge. And we have a 1 to 3 foot surge from the mouth of the Rio Grande back toward Galveston Bay, so that's more manageable for the Texas coastline. But the Louisiana coastline is our focus here, as they're going to be inundated with that heavy storm surge up to 5 to 10 feet here, possible, as this Category 2 system makes its way, especially right and east of the center, as you know, and it's going to make its way pushing all that water from the Gulf of Mexico into that area there as well. So that's what we have to watch out for here. It'll rapidly weaken once it gets inland, obviously, to the tropical storm and depression, but still it's going to bring heavy rainfall to central states here. And this is some area to watch later on Saturday and Friday. Those areas in southern Illinois, southern Indiana, possibly St. Louis, to watch out for some possible street flooding and ponding of the roads as the system rains itself out along the Tennessee, Mississippi Valley, and also in the upland area of the Midlands, Ohio Valley here possible. So we'll see, but it could be less than that because, like I said, they've had rains before, so the ground is not as hardened, so they should be okay absorbing most of the depression's rain up in that area. But you never know, never take nothing for granted. So that's what we have going on with Tropical Storm Francine. Once again, it is forecast to become hurricane sometime by tonight, possibly by the 11 p.m. Eastern time, 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time update tonight. But we just have to wait and see when the hurricane hunt is fine. But it's possible that it could become a hurricane tonight, a Category 1 borderline hurricane. If not tonight at 11, then the next update you get at 5 a.m. in the morning Eastern time, it'll be that Hurricane Francine is upgraded to a Category 1 hurricane with winds at 75 miles an hour or possibly 80 miles an hour. So we'll see what happens. Thank you for joining me on this update. Please be safe. And prayers are for the folks in the Gulf Coast there in Louisiana as they have to deal with Francine on Wednesday, Thursday morning, some time frame. Thank you for listening.